Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactorites? John here, and it's time to talk about Terminator Dark Fate. So this is supposed to be the sequel to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, so it's kind of skipping off and saying that the other movies in between, they didn't matter, and this is it. And how is it? You have Linda Hamilton, she's back as Sarah Connor, Arnold Schwarzenegger back as a Terminator or T-800, and you have new characters. And so for this, it's, if you're a Terminator fan, like hardcore, you like legacy characters, and you don't want things to change with them, like big changes, you're gonna be pretty pissed off. So from here on out, it's gonna be a very spoilerific review. And I just have to say outright, like, the first thing that really pissed me off when I saw this was the killing of John Connor. And this is like a young John Connor, so still like after the events of Terminator 2, like the de-aging process they did. I was pretty impressed with that young Sarah Connor and young John Connor. And so they're doing their thing, having fun, and all of a sudden you have Arnold, young Arnold, Terminator, coming out of nowhere, shoots John Connor unsuspectedly. He's down. He's dead. Sarah Connor just is in shock. She freaks out. She goes to John Connor, and like she doesn't really do anything to stop the Terminator because John Connor's dead. So I am like, what the hell's going on? Like, okay, like during the part when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like crazy. I'll just see where they're going with the storyline. And in the end, it's, once I start to think about it, I'm like, they really did John dirty, and I am not a fan of that. Just because, John Connor is like, he's a character that is pretty vital and important in the Terminator franchise, and to kill him off like that and just disregard him like nothing, that's no bueno. And it's kind of like Star Wars movies. If you were, Last Jedi, if you were to do Luke Skywalker dirty, who's a very cherished character, and just treat him like crap, fans are going to be pissed. And I think with this one, fans are going to be pissed too. Like, we've had like many different versions of John Connor, and I still kind of enjoy, like, having Christian Bale as John Connor as a leader. I'm like, that is cool. Like, I'll follow that guy. Even though Terminator Salvation was like meh, but then you also had the Terminator Genesis John Connor. I wasn't a huge fan of that one, but he was still there. You still get the portrayal, but here it's just completely gone. Wipes him out so that it can make way for a new character to rise up, because you have a new character of Danny who's being protected, and so you have Grace, who's been sent from the future. And she's an augmented person, so she's like stronger than a normal person, so she's there to protect Danny. And then you have the new Terminator called the Rev 9, played by Gabriel Luna, and this is a very enhanced Terminator. It's kind of like, imagine if Venom was able to fuse in with an endoskeleton. That's kind of what it's like. And so this is like a Venom / Terminator. It can do all weird stuff with spikes and just pretty deadly. And so with that, like, it's very heavily relying on CG. So part of me just kind of feels like there's no more tension. There's no more like, it doesn't feel realistic anymore. It feels a little cartoony with these characters jumping around, and gone are the days of these. The tension is lost, where things feel real. The part, like, in Terminator 2 Judgment Day with the T-1000 just slowly doing the ice, the not the ice, but the sharp pointy eyes, like just little things like that. You really feel it, especially there's a part where he like points and just stabs Sarah Connor, and so all these things, like, I miss having that feeling of dread, like, oh my god, these characters, they're getting messed up and they could die. And it felt a bit more realistic with just like with practical effects. Even though they had some CG stuff, But it just, the T-1000 still felt menacing, or even the T-800 in the first Terminator film felt menacing because it's Arnold. And with this one, right now my biggest gripe would have to be just the character of Danny. And so in the end, you find out she's a resistance leader, and they're trying to make it this whole plot twist, but it's like, I already saw this coming like a mile away, because they were setting it up like Sarah Connor the whole time. She's like, oh, you're just a mother, it's going to be like someone special, probably a boy, whatever. It's like she's really talking about this. Like, why does she keep mentioning this? Like she's like, Danny's already young enough where she grows up, she can be like a resistance leader, like at the age, because John Connor was young, like they're probably around the same age. And so she was like just flabbergasted, like whoa, she's gonna be somebody's mom, a mom of somebody special. And so you find out there's like this whole sequence where you can see her in the future, Danny in the future, trying to lead this like whole group. And I'm just like, this is the type of character I do not want to follow. Even then, like, she's still not believable as this leader that's able to just, bring all these people out of hiding to like fight these futuristic bad guys, these robots, Terminators, these Rev 9s and all that. And other than that, the future stuff, like the current Danny, the character, not a fan of the character. Like, she does show emotions, but I just didn't care about it, like especially when like her parents died. I'm like, okay. And then at the end, she's caring about this Grace character more than her family. So why? I don't get it. And also the whole like, oh no, I can take care of this, I'll handle it. So it's kind of like this whole, like, it just, I feel like it should have, like, if she does get to that point where she's going to be all gung-ho and just trying to be a leader, I want more of a gradual thing, or just make it more believable. Somehow, it's just, for me, like, I just don't think of it as, like, this believable character for this arc. And my main gripe is just, I don't like her as a character. And so, to have her replace John Connor, it's kind of like it's a slap in the face if you're a fan of John Connor. And if you're just watching this Terminator, like, for the first time, you'll probably enjoy it. You probably don't have anything invested in these characters yet to have some kind of like strong feelings, like especially if Terminator 1 or 2 isn't a beloved classic for you. But for those, like especially for me, a huge fan of Terminator 2, it's like a huge slap in the face, and it's like a disservice to the character. And then the whole rehashing the whole time traveling back bit, like we've seen this before with Terminator 1. First time is cool, and then Terminator 2, like, oh, they're doing it again because the Terminator is really trying to stop them. It's like, okay, that's cool. But then if you keep doing this over and over again, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of it, because it's like the same thing. And there's nothing new anymore, because now for this one, it's just Danny's the new version of the resistance leader, and now the robots just gotta send someone else back to kill him. And then let's say, what if they kill Danny, and then someone else becomes the resistant leader? Now the robots gotta send someone else back to kill them. It's just like these robots don't learn, and they feel very threatened by anyone that's gonna rise up now. And it doesn't feel like it's special anymore, because it could be anyone now that could be rising up and becoming a resistance leader, and then the Terminators, Legion, Skynet, whatever, will come back and try to stop them. But yeah, there are some things I enjoyed about this Terminator Dark Fate, and that's, Linda Hamilton coming back as Sarah Connor. So it's very cool to see her as this warrior woman, out there and just always trying to help out. And I do like the fact that she's kind of America's Most Wanted. She's out in hiding, and she's in Mexico, so she's just trying to stay off the grid. And then so you have like a different setting, so it's interesting to see how these characters come together and try to like find a way to escape the Terminator, the Rev 9, and seeking help from another one once they have to like travel and cross the border to Texas and find Arnold Schwarzenegger as this new Terminator. And I do like how Terminators are growing older. And so they look older. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's definitely growing, and he has. This is the same Terminator that killed John Connor, and I like the concept that after you finish your mission, what are you gonna do next? So this this Terminator is just trying to learn, improving the AI, becoming more human. And so I thought that was a very interesting concept. And a part of me was thinking, so they grow older. What happens when they reach like past 100 years old? Or let's say 200 years old, where their skin just keeps on getting older and older? Or is there a point where it just stops and then all the skin falls off and it just remain a Terminator? And there are like little nods and Easter eggs. For example, like the music when Arnold Schwarzenegger first comes to like this bar, you hear the music. You hear that with Gabriel Luna's Terminator falling down and hearing the music at this backyard. And I was, oh man, that's pretty cool. So there's like some little Easter eggs for fans to enjoy throughout. Overall, if you're a Terminator fan, especially of like John Connor's character and just the whole storyline with like Skynet, this one, for me it just feels like it's just spitting all over it, spitting on the legacy characters. And I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan of this. But if you're coming this as a new person or not really attached or more like a casual fan, you'll be like, okay, it's still enjoyable because it's still doing something with the story, making it different. But yeah, this movie will definitely be divisive with people, with fans, and then with people that just want to watch a Terminator movie and just not really think about it and check their brains at the door. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Terminator Dark Fate. Let me know what your thoughts are on the comments below. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.